Welcome back! My name is ballerscuba. This is Video Games Over Time. We are still in 1986. Today, we're going to talk about King's Quest III. The story of King's Quest III to Heir Is Human takes us back to Sierra Online. We have talked about Sierra Online before. They have been responsible for Mystery House and The Wizard and the Princess. We last talked about Sierra Online in our video on King's Quest II. For King's Quest III, Sierra Online turned once again to Roberta Williams. Roberta Williams has been responsible for most of Sierra's games to this point. Williams wanted to create a much larger game for King's Quest III than they had made for the first two King's Quest games. Specifically, she wanted to create a game with a more complex plot than she felt was possible in previous games. Williams put together a team made of much the same people as before. Lowe, who had created the music for King's Quest II, would become the lead programmer. He would be joined by Bob Heitman and Bob Kernighan. The art for the game would be supplied by Doug MacNeill and Mark Crowe. Roberta Williams and Annette Childs would write for the game, and Lowe's wife, Margaret Lowe, would provide the music for the game. King's Quest III would be the first adventure game to feature auto-mapping, creating a map in-game to make it easier for the player to follow along and see where they have been. The game also has a real-time clock and certain actions based on the clock. It would ultimately have 104 screens in the game, where the original had about 80 and King's Quest II had around 92. King's Quest III to Heir Is Human is an adventure game. It plays on the same game engine as the first two games of the series. The player plays as Gwydion, a 17-year-old boy who is being held captive by the wizard Manannan. It is up to the player to take advantage of Manannan's absences and free Gwydion. The plot, of course, complicates from there. Sierra Online released King's Quest III to Heir Is Human to American computers on October 1st, 1986. That is a brief backstory to King's Quest III. With that told, it's time to look at the game's manual. The manual comes with an introduction by Annette Childs that reads, "A long, long time ago, when magic was the only science known to man, there dwelt in the land of Lowe a wizard named Manannan. He was very learned in all matters of the heavens and earth. Of great age, Manannan presented a frail appearance, as though his skin were made of bleached and weathered parchment. Manannan's impression of fragility lasted only until one looked into his coal-black eyes, which burned with a strange fire. This was, indeed, a powerful wizard. Although he was powerful and capable of conjuring up vast armies of spirit servants to sweep his hearth, prepare his meals, and other menial tasks with which he would not soil his hands, this solution to his everyday needs was not satisfactory to him, for he liked his solitude, and didn't want a lot of spirits, who besides all else are quite inquisitive and mischievous, cluttering up his house. Instead, he impressed a very young boy to do his bidding, taking the lad when he was only a year old, so he would have no memories to tug at him in the years to come. Unfortunately for Manannan, boys grow up and become adventuresome young men. As his slave grew in stature and in strength, Manannan was irritated to find him poking around in areas of the house where he didn't belong, or he would climb down the narrow path leading to Manannan's mountaintop retreat to explore the surrounding countryside. Even punishment did not stop him for long. One day, when his slave was 18 years of age, the wizard found him practicing magic spells. This was the last straw. "You," Manannan screamed, "you have read my books of spells and plundered my supplies of powders and potions. You have even ventured into Lowe again, against my expressed command, for nowhere else could you have gathered some of these ingredients. You think you will win your freedom with these tricks?" the wizard sneered. "You shall see your mistake. You have earned only your own demise." And with that, Manannan raised his hands menacingly. Suddenly, the earth began to shake, and his slave was no more. Only a small pile of ashes remained where he had stood. Next time I won't make the same mistake, Manannan snarled. I'll never let any of my slaves reach manhood. I'll have no more accidents. And so the years passed. Manannan went out and found another small boy to be his slave. He stole him from a country some distance from Ludor to direct suspicion away from himself. Manannan was more careful with this child and watched him closely. The wizard punished the boy severely when he caught him away from the house, and he made sure the boy didn't get his hands on even any ordinary items that might be transformed into magic charms or potions. On the whole, Manannan didn't have much trouble with him, but still, on the lad's 18th birthday, the wizard zapped him out of existence. It's a nuisance having to train a slave all over again, he mumbled complainingly. But it's better than having trouble like the last time. And so he went on, every 17 years kidnapping a small boy from his loving parents, then slaying him on the 18th anniversary of his birth. Occasionally the cycle was shortened slightly, when he unfortunately chose a precocious child that learned too much before his 18th year. And time went on. That is the background to the story as presented in the manual. With that read, it's time to play the game for ourselves. And here we are in the game. This is King's Quest III. As you saw, copyright 1987 by Sierra, but it originally came out in 1986. This is just a little bit later version, but it's representative of the original. With that said, we have quite a bit to do, especially in this first episode. We're not going to go super far into the game, but there's a lot of things that we kind of need to keep in mind. We do have an introduction in the game, and then we're pretty much on the clock, so we'll try to go relatively quickly here. I do have to read this introduction very quickly. I don't have control over when it goes to the next screen. Gwydion is a lonely lad of 17 who has lived for as long as he can remember with an evil and cruel wizard by the name of Manannan. Gwydion gazes upon the countryside of Ludor with longing, wishing he were free to leave, but alas, such is not the case. Manannan treats the poor boy like his slave, ordering him about, constantly threatening him and refusing to ever let him leave the premises. Often Gwydion wonders who he really is and how he came to live with the old wizard, but Manannan offers no help in that area. Suddenly, the front door opens and out stalks Manannan the wizard. "Gwydion!" he shouts harshly. Oh, Gwydion rushes to his side, afraid he may be in trouble. "Why are you not working, boy?" the wizard sneers. Gwydion mumbles a faint reply. "The kitchen floor is filthy," Manannan grumbles. "Go sweep it, now!" Turning on his heel, the wizard re-enters the house, slamming the door behind him. Such is the story of young Gwydion's life to this point. What's a poor boy to do? Oh well, in resignation, Gwydion obediently follows Manannan into the house. And that is the introduction in the game. We've kind of gotten a couple introductions to what is going on now. And we also do have our first assignment. So let's go ahead and get into the game and deal with our first assignment. We were told to clean the kitchen. Now, it can be random if you skip the introduction. We will actually first, before we clean the kitchen, we'll go ahead and take this cup. I'll need it for later. You pick up the little tin cup and carry it with you. And we get a point, and then I can pause by going into the inventory. So the way that inventory works in this game is that there are basically two different classes of items. You have regular items, like this empty cup. There's nothing on it, just says empty cup. That's good. If it has an asterisk at the end, it's in the second class. And those are things that Manannan will kill you for having if he catches you with it. So you're going to want to not hold on to those items. Empty cup, though, is fine. We are on a hard clock here. We have 5 minutes to do what we were assigned to do, which is clean the kitchen. So let's go into the kitchen and deal with that. And then hopefully we will not need to kind of deal with anything else for a while. In order to clean the kitchen, you go to the left of the fireplace here to the broom and then clean the kitchen. I'm going to need to start learning how to type faster to get this all done. We have so much to do. And how he cleans, I believe, is random. There's a lot of randomness to the game. There is a cat here. You cannot pet the cat, but we'll see what we can do with it later. That's a lot of cleaning. Okay, that is done. We want to head over to kind of the top left and take the bowl, that blue one kind of on the shelf there. Retrieve the clay bowl from the kitchen shelf and take it with you. Then we can take the knife, the carving knife from the iron rack, and the spoon, the wooden spoon from the iron rack. Cat is in the way. We will have to deal with that later. Everything that I'm grabbing right now should be fine. We'll take the fruit, take the chop. It's a mutton chop, and the bread, the loaf of bread. All of that is fine. We do need to grab all of that. I believe it's 1 point for everything that I've taken so far. So we're up to 7 points. Now, Manannan can show up just kind of randomly. I am told that he shows up like 8 seconds after you enter a screen. That would have been 8 seconds. There he is. Out of my way, Gwydion. And if he catches you with something you're not supposed to have, he will just kill you and you have to start over. All right, away he goes. Now, what I'm probably going to do here is head up. Okay. Yeah, like the stairs are still going to be problems in this game. I think that I want to be on the top side and then hold 9. Nope. Bottom side. And then 9. Nope. It was the top side. There we go. And then you'll stop back to the top, 9 again, and we have made it. Okay, so what do I want to do at this point? What I want to do at this point is get rid of all of my items. We'll have to do this probably twice, because everything from this point forward we're not allowed to have, and he can just randomly show up and take everything from me. So we'll go over to the right. This is Gwydion's room, and we'll drop everything by the bed, and Gwydion will put all this under the bed. You get on your hands and knees and quickly shove all your possessions under the bed. They will be safe from the wizard's sharp eyes there. All right. That also kills some time because at this point I basically just want to wait for the 5 minutes to be up so we can look at art. What's a art? Look at painting. What's a painting? Look at wall. What is this? I've always admired this lovely... Oh, it's a tapestry. It adds one of the few bright spots to this dreary house. So, like I said, we were hard on the clock, which was 5 minutes. Now, I am told that you can get everything that you need before the 5-minute mark, but I've never been able to do it. So we're going to just kind of wait this out. And if I tried, there's Manannan again. And if he killed me, if he spotted me, he would have killed me and I would have had to start again. You feel Manannan's cold gaze is quite unnerving. Also, if you hadn't cleaned the kitchen by this point or done one of his other tasks, because he can assign you other tasks, he'll basically zap you. And I haven't figured out how to get out of that zap. I probably need to look it up. But he can ask you to feed the chickens, he can ask you to clean the study, and he can ask you to clean his chamber pot, which is in his bedroom. The study is downstairs north, and then the chickens are outside, as we saw. And then his room is back there to the left, and we would we'll go there eventually because we need stuff in there. We just can't grab it yet. I've had to do a couple practice runs of this because... like, you get screwed over pretty easily in this game. This game has a hard start. It really does. All right, so we're waiting for the 5-minute mark, and then I can kind of game the system now that I know what's going on. At 5 minutes, he will show up in the next room. So we'll wait for the 5 minutes to go up. Good. And then we can go to the next room, wait for probably 5:09 for him to show up again. I'll try to climb the staircase in the meantime. Yep, 5:09 on the dot, 8 seconds after you get into this new room. Gwydion, I've decided to take a journey. And off he goes, and now we are free to explore for 25 minutes. 25 in-game minutes. Like I said, we're kind of on a clock this entire game. Okay, so we need to go up here to the observatory. Cat is here. We will take the fly. You pick up the dead fly and drop it into your hand. Disgustedly, you look at it. I don't want to carry around a dead fly. You think, picking off its wings, you throw the rest away. Why just the wings? Because we're not allowed to have it. All of this will be for a spell. That's the main goal here. Can't pet the cat. It's an evil cat, by the way. Nimbly, you grab the nasty cat by the scruff of its neck, avoiding its needle-sharp claws. Now that you have it, what are you going to do with it? Sorry about this. We are going to take Heir. You manage to pluck some fur before he viciously scratches and leaps from your arms. With grim satisfaction, you survey your wounds. Stupid cat, you scoff. Whether you know it or not, you just helped me. The detestable cat leaps from your arms, snarling and screeching. So yeah, the game will tell you that it's a bad cat because it's Manannan's and it probably squeals on you a lot. But there you go. I'm not always a fan of being mean to cats, but the game says it's justified. And we can see our reflection in there. This is Manannan's room. We will open the drawer. In the vanity drawer are many uninteresting items, although the wizard's hand mirror may come in handy. You grab it, then close the drawer. Yeah, we will need that mirror, absolutely. And everything we're picking up gives us points. All right. Over here, look on top of closet. You run a hand along the top of the closet. Suddenly you touch something metallic. Grabbing it, you discover a small brass key. What could it unlock? We'll open the closet. Search the closet. You're startled to discover an ancient parchment scroll. Its ink has faded, but it seems to be a map. Taking this treasure, you leave everything else exactly as it was. All right, then we'll close the closet. Get 7 points for that. All right, for taking the parchment. All right, we'll open the drawer here. You find baubles and trinkets which do not interest you. Suddenly your eyes fall on something that does. A vial labeled rose petal essence, which you eagerly take. And we can close that. I thought we were supposed to get 3 points, but it looks like it only gave me 1. Either way. We will head out. I no longer need to deal with the cat. Cat will show up in random spots. I am told that there is a lot of randomness in this game, that you just kind of need some random things to happen. But now that Manannan's gone, we got all the things that we're not supposed to have anymore. That's a lot of things. We can take all from underneath my bed as well. Dropping to your knees, you reach under your bed and retrieve all your possessions. Okay, we got everything we need, and we should be good to go. Let me make sure here, because I think I should have all the points that I need. And 7, nope, gotta be on this side. Down, it's a 1 for me, actually. On the numpad, that's my secret to doing the diagonals is hit down and then that way. The numpad diagonals. All right, let's go down here. You open the front door of the house and go outside. All right, back to where we kind of started in the introduction. If you need to feed the chickens, this is how you do it. You open the gate, and then you can go in, and then you would go over here and feed the chicken. But right now we're going to take the chicken. Gotcha, you managed to catch a chicken, but what are you going to do with it? We're going to pluck a feather. Tucking the chicken firmly under one arm, you gently pluck a small feather, then let it go. Okay, so we are good here, up to 26 points. We can open the gate and get out of here. Now this is where I'm going to need to drop a save. I should have probably dropped saves earlier on, but things have been going well so far. Stop there. Save. C drive. Can I just hit enter there? All right, yeah, that was a test run. It didn't work out well, so we'll do sketchy territory. Spoilers, there's an eagle. We're probably not going to see it this time, though. Okay. So, sketchy territory, you can die a lot here. You can die so much here. And things worked out well for us before. I haven't died yet. I don't want to show off necessarily every death, but some of them are just going to kind of happen. Okay. There. Okay. Good. So far, so good. Let's drop another save here. Right over that old one. Sketchy territory. Okay. Because, yeah, you can so easily die here. There. And... like, they just hide you. Okay. And so far, so good. Just try to focus on the feet. Gwydion's feet will tell you where he is. Keep that where it needs to be. And then you won't fall. I don't think falling here will doom you, but you shouldn't fall either way. Just don't fall. Okay. I think we're okay. And we've made it down sketchy territory. And we still have like 20 minutes to go. We're going to head over to the right first. Last time I did this, an eagle showed up here. I'm told that is a random event and a very good one. Doesn't look like the eagle's showing up this time. Like I said, I didn't think so. It's supposed to be pretty rare. But what I need to do here is take the mud. With the wooden spoon, you kneel and scoop a spoonful of wet mud from the stream's bank. You carry it with you. Okay, another point for us. And let's head back this way. I should drop another save at some point, but I don't think there's anything too dangerous right now. And we made it to the beach. I think that I need to go all the way to the right here. No, south from here. Let's make sure I'm on land, just to be safe. No. What? What is happening? That is not good. Walk to the beach. Then it says to go south, so maybe I do need to be like on the sand. And then south from here. There we go. All right, take water. I don't want to take water. You fill your cup with ocean water. There we go. And are we allowed to have any of these? You can't have mud or ocean water. So no. Let's go north and then west from here. And you're supposed to figure this out kind of slowly. But we're kind of going as fast as we can so that I don't have to deal with Manannan too much. As you might have figured out, he is a hassle to deal with. The fact that he won't even let me hold on to mud. Anything that could conceivably be an ingredient in a spell, he basically won't let you have. All right, we'll go here, and then we'll drop a save, and we'll overwrite this one, and we'll call it Ludor Item Hunt, because that's basically what we're on right now. And then we can see what we can find further to the left, and yeah, bad things can happen at this point. But we can also get the eagle to show up. Nope. Okay. I was hoping. All right, we're in a desert. And, all right, yeah. The most hideous looking being has made its appearance. It's Medusa. Notice how I pointed him away. And we want to show mirror to Medusa. Gotta be fast. And there we go. Averting your eyes, you aim the wizard's hand mirror at Medusa's face. A scream pierces the air as she beholds her own hideous reflection. Then nothing. You dare to look. Medusa has turned herself to stone. So yeah, from classic Greek mythology there. We have defeated Medusa. Okay. Now, I believe I want to go toward that stone, and we want to take that cactus. There's so many other cactuses, but I think that's the one we want. Okay. And we got the cactus. Let's go south. Can I walk over the bones? No. Gwydion cannot walk over bones. We'll go south a couple more times here. I think that should be fine. It looks kind of sketchy, but it could just be that it's so dry the sand is cracking. That can happen. So south one more time, and I believe it's... Where is it? I think it's this. Take the snake skin. Yeah, that's what that is. You retrieve the dried snake skin from the hot desert sand. It is delicate and could easily crumble. I'm trying to do this fast because we are still on a time limit. All right, so now we need to go east 3 times and then north once. Are you going to let me through that? That kind of looks like sketchy territory. But we've already been through sketchy territory. And we've got a lot of points. We're at 35 out of 210. Apparently, if you know what you're doing, you can go through this game kind of quickly. But there's still a lot of randomness involved in it. So you got to be careful. And save often. I can go through the small little stream. How nice. All right, and then north from here, looks like we got a giant spider waiting for us. And here, you can see it on the tree. We want to take the mistletoe. There, take mistletoe. You search among the hanging mistletoe until you find a sprig that has dried. You break it off and carry it with you. Okay. We want to say, not lined up properly. We want to save here, and let's call it Folktales, so I don't spoil it too much here. Let's go west, and kind of re-up the page. Yep, there's a bear. That was Mama Bear. There are 3 fully clothed bears coming. You hear Mama Bear say, "Thank you, dear. That was a lovely walk." I don't think this is what I am looking for, but let me double check while it's paused. Yeah, that's not what I want to have happen. And I can't leave. I have to just kind of go through this whole thing. Okay. So we have the 3 bears. And now they're leaving. What's this? 3 clothed bears, you hear Papa Bear exclaim. What a beautiful day for a stroll through the forest. I feel like I recognize that song. Like it's a nursery rhyme type thing. All right. Let's head over and go inside their house now. Open the door. And where is it? I need to be fast. It's not on the table. Is it not there? I feel like it says take the porridge. Yeah, there's no porridge here. That's not good. Do I need to keep on leaving and coming back and trying again? All right, we're going to try to move on as if that's a random event. We'll go up the stairs. And then over here, we'll open the drawer. You open the drawer, and among the clothes, you see a pretty silver thimble. We'll take the thimble. I feel like I have to like reset the bears at this point if their porridge isn't there. Because that's flowers in the top right, yeah? Maybe it's on top of the fireplace? It says, take porridge from the table. But, I mean, there's clearly nothing there. Maybe that's porridge up there? Take porridge. Look. You're in the charming home of the three bears. Mama Bear certainly does keep her house nice and cozy. Look for porridge. Where? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to have to try that again as best as I can tell because I don't see any porridge. So we'll wait for them to leave again. I don't know what that's going to take. All right. They are back. I don't like how much time I'm wasting on this. How'd you guys do that so fast? Nope. In the garden. In the garden. Okay, they're leaving again. So let's go in and see if we can't sneak some stuff from them. There's still no porridge. Right? There's nothing there. Is it up here? That looks like flowers. Do you have, is there anything at the fireplace? There's a cheery fire. All right. Look on shelf. Take porridge. All right, I don't know what's going on, so I'm going to reload the save and I will let you know what I see on the other side. In fact, no, now is a good time for me to stop and we will pick up from here next time once I figure out what's going on with this porridge. I've been ballerscuba. This has been Video Games Over Time. I hope you laughed, hope you learned, and I hope to see you next time for more King's Quest 3. That clock is still going. Thanks for watching.